You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
And go.
You hit me with a hard question right before we started the show. What was my favorite movie of the past 5 years? That's a good question. This is Jerry, Board Game Snobs. Enrique's here. Say something.
Hello.
Okay.
Back again.
Okay, calm your voice down. You're really loud. Why are you so
Why
loud?
not be loud?
I don't think he's that loud in the actual recording, but whatever his mic is doing.
He's loud to me, and that's what counts.
Turn
But
it
I want
down.
to be loud.
I'm Gobby. Hello.
All right.
Hello, God.
Hello, Enrique.
So, what movie you asked
Glad
me?
to have you back
asked-
again.
I like being here.
What's your favorite movie of the past 5 years?
As
I
a-
can't even remember the last five.
That's something to hit hard. Do you know what it is?
Do I know what your favorite movie is?
Or do you know what yours is? I'll go for yours.
Yes,
Okay, can you say it?
The Batman.
That's a good one.
It came on. It's
I
on.
respect the
It's on
Batman.
Max, and every time I browse it, I click it and I start watching it.
Ooh.
And I'm like, this movie just had so many great cinematic shots.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a beautiful movie. The music was on point. The theme, the mood of the movie is fantastic. The last 45 minutes is just gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I love the Batman.
Even though it was emo,
Very emo. I
Very-
get it. I feel it. I like it.
I suspect it wouldn't be emo.
Can I give you my fun movie?
You can give me
My
whatever.
favorite fun movie
Give
of the
me what-
past 5 years.
Since Batman wasn't fun.
Twisters.
I haven't watched it.
Absolutely.
It was really good.
It's the only movie in the last 5 years I've went to the theater, watched, came home, told my wife and my father, it's a fun movie. We need to go watch it. I went back to the theater and watched it again almost immediately.
Wow.
It's not good. I mean, it's not going to win an Oscar, but if you like the original, if you like the feel, it had the same vibe, and I've already said this before, but I love Twisters, and I'm looking forward to coming on Peacock, which by the time this comes out should be on Peacock already.
I don't know if I have Peacock. I don't know what streaming stuff I have. I don't really stream a lot of stuff. But that's a good one. Well, I don't know. It'd be hard for me to dig through and find one that I like the past 5 years. I will say that this did bring up something that I had viewed recently, which was regarding just the quality of movies. Do you feel like the quality of the movies here within the past, I don't know, decade have been good?
It's been a couple, but it's gone quite downhill. Yeah.
I feel like because the movies that all the critics watch and rave about, they're these 2-hour movies that are just awful and people suffering and being. That's not my vibe. As far as movies that I enjoy, there have been fewer and far between. Like even Fall Guy, like that's my style of movie. I thought I would like it. I found it very boring.
I went to go watch that with a couple of
I know what you're
buddies,
talking about.
and
Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt.
it
I'm
was
like,
so-
what more do you need, right? I felt nothing for that movie. All these movies, these blockbusters they come out with that are supposed to be big, they've all flopped. The last recent big hit movies are like Barbie and Oppenheimer, and I can't even remember what even come out. I also don't attend the movies as often as I used to since Disagreeable Nerd went defunct.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's insane. That the types of movies or the quality of movies over the past decade have just not. I'm like trying to think of a great film.
Well, yeah, especially something that's appealing to a mass audience.
What am I even saying?
You got Dune.
I'm not even saying a mass audience. So this was a infographic, and I can't find it, but this is the essential idea of it. This, and somebody can no doubt pull it up very quickly. that it was showing the top 3 movies of each year in the 80s. And I was shocked.
Just hit after hit
the
after hit.
80s were hot. Let me read this to you.
Okay.
These are the top movies in terms of just highest grossing movies worldwide that were released in 80s. E.T., Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade, the original Batman, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, Top Gun, Rain Man, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Back to the Future Part 2, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Crocodile Dundee, Fatal Attraction, Beverly Hills Cop, Rocky IV, Rambo 2, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Look Who's Talking, Ghostbusters, Coming to America, Rocky 3. Stop me if any of these aren't amazing. Tootsie, Three Man and the Baby, Crocodile Dundee 2, Dead Poets Society, Lethal Weapon 2, Out of Africa, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Twins.
Out of Africa was a real snore.
I'm just saying, these are just
Who Framed
insane.
Roger Rabbit was an 80s movie?
Yes,
Oh, you
yeah.
joking?
it's crazy good. So
It
like,
had some good animation.
no, and don't even think about
It was ahead of its time.
I mean,
I know.
just
I thought it was the 90s at least.
no,
No, it's
I didn't think
no,
it was 80s.
no. And so just the 80s, what was going on in the 80s that they were just cranking out?
Original ideas.
But not even original ideas. These are sequels.
not as many as there are now.
I heard a bunch of sequels in there.
There are tons of sequels in this. What happened there? What is going on that you can go Empire Strikes Back, then Return of Jedi, Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Futures, to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was in top 10. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was in the top 10 in the 80s. Wrap your mind around that.
That's not the best.
Crocodile Dundee, Rambo 2,
I love Crocodile Dundee when it came out.
Rocky 3,
Not a Rocky fan.
Crocodile Dundee 2 in
I
88.
like 2 better than 1.
Lethal Weapon 2. All these shows and twins were
And those twins.
I'm just saying, what in the world happened where we stopped? Well, I know what happened. I'm asking you, what's your opinion about what good movies? What do you think happened?
Studio oversight.
Think so? You think that's killing creativity?
That's
they're
what
trying to mass produce something?
That's what everybody points to. And if you look, if you look at the Marvel movies of the
2010s.
since Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
awful.
Yeah. It's just
Right. I mean, I don't even watch Marvel movies.
I think, they had a thing in mind, but overall, I could not. No, I can't tell you. So you tell me.
Well, no. I
think
agree
it's-
with you on that.
It's
And you
made.
did just tell me.
I think it's just greed. More,
They
more
allow
production.
They allow
More
more.
money.
So Enrique brought up something, and this is a conspiracy theory that I hold. I hold this conspiracy theory. I've never heard anybody else say this. I will say this out loud. If this gets us kicked off the airwaves, then it's so be it. I've not heard this. This has not come from anybody. Here's what's going on. Are you ready? I said one that this is something I've thought about, that I have come up with. I think that movies, for instance, now when they bomb and they lose, how much did the Joker 2 lose? Like insane amount of money.
Over 100.
Can you name another business for which something can lose that amount of money and still be in business?
No.
Well, yeah, you're talking about cumulative though. So I don't know what studio made that, but if they had blah blah blah, Avengers Endgame and then came out with Joker,
Yep.
which is DC and Marvel.
Can you name another director or anybody that could lose that amount of money and still be making movies?
Generally, no. If they bomb that bad, then it takes them several years to get out of that pit.
Or even have a job?
It's happened. I can't tell you exactly, but I know it's happened. It's an unusual thing. Usually you have to make several bombs, but one massive bomb, like I don't know who made Ishtar and those type of movies back in the day.
Right. So, number one, I find that very interesting.
You're not allowed to make a mistake.
No, not that.
Okay.
What's the Godzilla movie? The Zero?
Oh,
minus
zero.
one.
Minus one?
Yeah.
Minus one. Okay. Here's what made me think of this. I watched Godzilla minus one. How much did you think its budget was?
I think, if I remember correctly, it was 20 or 30 million.
It was 15 million, 10 to 15 million.
Wow.
Okay. That's Godzilla minus one. Okay. So that cost 10 to 15 million to make, right?
Yeah.
So the Acolyte was $180 million. They report that the actual budget was overspent due to heavy VFX, resulting in an actual budget of $230 million. So,
What an awful show.
let me ask you this. Do you think that it cost $100 million to make that show? Absolutely not. And here's why. Money laundering. I think
Oh,
that's
we're going to get assassinated.
I
No,
think
fine.
that movies, for something that you said,
We're pointing to you, Disney.
here's something that you have said time and time again that I do not agree with. I think that this is something, and you repeat it. Go ahead and repeat it about the budget and the money that movies cost to advertise.
If you're talking about what I'm thinking of, so if a movie cost $50 million, another 50 for advertisement, and then due to the theater system, it needs to make about 3 times that much to profit.
Okay. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is, find me somebody that can explain that fiscally, that it costs $50 million to advertise in the days of YouTube.
Let me explain it to you. Well, if we're talking about published by studios coming out in theaters.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So what they do is they have diminishing returns. So like the first 2 weekends, they'll give them.
No. You're not explaining what I'm asking. The advertising does not cost $50 million.
Oh, that part. Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't. It can't.
I'm not in the business. I can't say definitively.
Do you believe that,
I mean, a $50 million movie would not have $50 million worth of advertising. No. But a $300 million movie like Joker. No, actually, Joker had no advertising.
I'm just saying, they always say that that they use that same metric that you always spout every time we talk about movies, is about it costs double. Basically, the advertising of whatever the budget of the movie is insane. How much does it cost to advertise on YouTube? Nobody's watching television. You're not advertising during the Super Bowl. Most of what you see now, advertising, is YouTube trailers that get released and shared on Twitter. That's it.
That may be now. I will say there's a good podcast I used to listen to when I was a truck driver called Showbiz Sandbox. Haven't listened to them a long time, but they do delve into all of this very deeply.
They delve into what is reported.
Well, obviously.
I'm saying, think about it. It makes no sense. And if you're going to do something, I'm just saying allegedly, whatever you want to say to keep you from...
Bob Iger. It's not me, it's Jerry.
I'm just saying is that...
Jerry Baker.
Does that make any sense to you at all? When you think about it, at all?
Yeah, because you're gonna. I don't know. I'm talking about, but if I did, but you're gonna pay these marketing firms and advertisers and pay all these talk shows to go on them and travel around the world to market your show. Now, if you have a $300 million movie, you're going to spend, I would say, $100 to $150 million on marketing.
Really?
That's what I keep. That I'm just repeating what I've heard.
I know. Everybody does that.
Right.
It makes no sense. I'm not asking you to repeat what you heard. Can that make any sense at all in your head? That the budget to market a movie is the same as to make it?
$100 million. I don't know. Money doesn't mean anything anymore because people spend ridiculous amounts.
The average marketing budget is 50% of production costs. For example, $100 million costs between $50 to $150 million. Reportedly, Barbie had a $150 million marketing budget. Avengers Endgame.
So you want to see the numbers on where that has went. Now, I will say, as all these showbiz podcasts do, yes, the studios pad the numbers like crazy. You know why? Texas.
What did I just say?
So, well, I'm telling you that it's a known thing if that's what you're saying, because they say the studios will always say, no, we made no money.
Exactly. That's what I've just said. It is a deal for which you can now write off on your taxes, launder money, and have this whole thing.
Okay, you're saying money laundering, which is illegal. This is just a legal way to. It's illegal. It's a legal way to cheat.
No, it is not. a legal way to cheat.
Okay, well, I'm not arguing.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
No, I'm not arguing.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, because you said money laundering. I'm saying they're cheating legally.
I'm saying that's it.
I have no skins in the big studio games, so I would not doubt that there's definitely in any major business, just like politics, government, big business.
We're talking about movies.
That's big business.
I know. Why are you defending movies? Why are you?
I'm saying obviously there's crooked stuff and under the table stuff that happens.
You're taking this. I don't want to hear your whataboutism. I wanted to know, why did Mortal Engines cost $150 million to advertise?
Wait, you did?
Yes.
No,
because you know why? Because they're paying off the executives, and the rich get richer.
I know. I'm just saying that's not what I'm asking. Show me how that is even possible.
They can't.
Exactly.
They can't.
I'm saying.
And that's why they say, yes, it's the studios padding their pocketbooks, padding their stats so they don't have to pay the taxes, and then the guys can get richer no matter what happens with the movie.
That's what's going on, is that they don't care when something bombs. I firmly believe that there are certain movies that they make and
but there are directors that if a movie bombs, they're in the crap house for a while until what they do, just like even actors, is they'll make Magnolia Pictures movies, these little independents, until they build their rep back up. I believe Colin Trevorrow or somebody like that, the guy that made Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but like he had this major bomb, and it's just kind of a known thing. Now, I don't know that's the way it is so much now, but back in the day, you make a bomb, you kind of get blackballed. And then you have to make a couple of good independent movies that get some recognition, and then you can work your way back out into big box office movies again. But you haven't told me your favorite movie in the last 5 years.
I don't know what it is.
You have no idea. What's one of is there one that just pops into your brain? It don't even have to be your favorite, but like what you're like, I really enjoyed this movie in the last 5 years.
I enjoyed that. There was one movie I was going to talk about that I watched.
Is that what we're building up to?
No.
Oh.
I'm not building up to it. Is this one that I had built up to it, mainly because it came out, I think it was like 2000.
The Big Short.
2014.
On point.
No.
Oh.
I hate when you start guessing stuff when you can just wait a second.
Well, The Big Short's about money.
I know it's about money. It's about the 2008 market crash.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I didn't watch it.
I
didn't care to, because I was alive during then. I know what caused it to.
Like I lived through it.
I lived through it. Why am I watching it?
I need to watch Steve Carell with a big nose.
I don't shame the man for a big nose. That big nose.
It was a prosthetic nose.
He did Foxcatcher.
No,
too.
That's what I'm thinking of, Foxcatcher.
Yes, what you're thinking of. And so I'm just about to say.
He's wrestling. He's wrestling with that big nose.
Ha 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 ha. He actually beat Channing Tatum too. Fun fact. This show is almost a decade old, or it is a decade old. I believe it's 2014. I had saved this show for that long. It came out. It was in the movie theater, and I thought, I'll like this. And I didn't go and see it because I rarely go to the movie theater. Then it came out on DVD and everything else, and it had
Tron Legacy.
Listen, stop guessing. I'm trying
to think of
don't worry about it. Pay attention to what I'm saying instead of trying to guess a stupid movie that you won't guess.
Yeah, you don't have to be so degrading.
You're not going to guess
every word you utter.
He's not going to guess it, Enrique. I'll even tell you the director. Don't put your phone down.
No, wait. I want to guess. I'm going to look up 2014 movies.
I knew he was going to get him.
I'm going to look up 2014 movies, and I'm going to guess it.
Okay. It is a show. This is super riveting. I think it was 2014. Let me check real fast. Let me make sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Make sure it's 2014, because I was just telling a story that I'm about to get to the point of the deal, and it was released in 2016. I'm sorry, 2016.
Well, now that changes everything.
Go ahead, 2016. Sorry, 2016. So 8 years ago.
Can you talk about it without saying the name?
I can.
Okay.
So this movie, when it came out, I thought to myself, I'll like this movie. I read reviews about it. And I rarely go to the movie theater, and I typically will do this thing where I will save a movie till I'm in the right mood for it. Like, I'll have it, and I'll know one of these days I'm going to watch this movie when I just have the time and my mental energy is the way it is, and I'm going to enjoy it. And when I was flying to the Dice Tower retreat, 3-hour flight They have the little Wi-Fi you can connect in and watch movies. Lo and behold, the first movie that popped up on their little thing that you can watch.
I know.
Hang on. It pops up. And I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
I'll watch that. I will be entertained by this. This is the moment. I'm on my way to see my good friend Tom, to have a nice day time with Dan. I will watch this Denis Villeneuve movie.
I don't know. Is it Passengers?
Do you really think I'm insulted that you think I'd even like that stupid film? What show did you think it was?
Passengers. That's the 2016
Why
movie.
don't you just throw your phone away?
Because when it was advertised, it was supposed to be all the go. But you said Denis Villeneuve, so I don't know what he come out with then.
I said I enjoyed it. I'm talking about.
Oh, you did?
I'm talking about a movie that I thoroughly liked.
Oh, okay.
If you pay attention to look at your phone. Dude, Passenger, that right there makes me mad. I want you to stop for a moment. Let me break that film down for you. I can't believe.
Enrique, you're laughing. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Wait. Do you know what we're talking about?
Not about the
He
movie.
doesn't even know what movie we're talking about.
It's just the reaction of it.
Passengers.
I missed the part where he said he enjoyed it.
Passengers is about this. It's about the guy off of Park and Recreations, Andy, and the girl from Hunger Games. They're on like a colony ship, and he gets unfrozen and realizes, oh no, I can't go back to sleep. So instead, he stalks her and then basically kills her by waking her up and being like, let's have a relationship. It's the who wrote this? Who wrote this trash? And thought audiences will and that came out like 2019 or that was 2016.
No.
So the other sci-fi film that came out in 2016, which was an absolute masterpiece and launched Denis Villeneuve. How do you say his name?
I'd have to see it spelled, but I know it's Denis.
Every time he pronounces it, it's different. This is Denis Villeneuve.
Dennis the Menace.
The Arrival.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
So I never watched that film.
That was shocking to me.
I assumed it would be very boring. And as soon as it started off, I sat there and thought, okay, this is. And I sat and just let it flow over me. And if you haven't watched The Arrival, it's basically the same cliche that always happens. Aliens come to Earth, except they're not Independence Day blowing stuff up.
Close Encounters of a Third Kind.
Not even that. These are very boring aliens because these aliens are just in this.
They don't play music.
There's no lights. It's just this iPhone looking thing that this shows up in Montana and then various other places, and they're like, they don't do nothing. They don't come out. They're just there, and everybody goes, there's aliens. And so the government goes, let's go knock on the door. And they all go in, and all the governments are going, how do we talk to these weird-looking aliens? We don't know how to talk to them. We need to figure out how will we be able to communicate. And so thus the little woman, Rachel...
Amy Adams.
I said Rachel. Amy Adams. Was her name Rachel in the Notebook? I can't remember.
That was Rachel McAdams in the Notebook.
There you go. That's what I get wrong. I will admit I get Rachel McAdams and Amy Adams mixed up every time. I like them both.
They're two different. Amy Adams went more of the legit actress route.
Either way. She
Rachel McAdams, I don't even think makes movies anymore.
She does like languages, and they go talk to these aliens.
She's a linguist.
Trying to figure out how we can talk to them.
A savvy linguist.
There's no action in this movie. It's 2 hours of really well shot with just some really neat music. And you've got Forrest Whitaker there, who's like, I'm Forrest Whitaker. I'm a great actor and I'm just going to be here. And then they got Jeremy Renner, who's like, we just need you to be.
Or Renner.
Whatever. Just be there. And he's a singer too. Have you listened to his music?
No.
You need to play some.
Are they good?
No. I'm just saying. I don't know if it was pre or post snowmobile accident, but it's. I think it's pre.
Probably a country song.
No.
Post. Got crushed by a snowmobile.
No, that's too soon. He hurt himself.
He did, but he's good now.
Is he? Is he back acting?
Yes.
What's he in?
He's back in business.
Okay. Well, now I don't feel sorry for him. Actually, I do feel sorry for him. I myself have been involved in a minor snowmobile accident. The first time I ever drove a snowmobile, and it scared me. It
All of those ATV type vehicles can be severely dangerous.
Yes, I've wrecked a 4-wheeler, been through a barbed wire fence on a 4-wheeler. That's where I got that scar on that's why I don't have hair right here, my neck, a little patch. Went through a barbed wire fence. Somebody else was driving. I was on the back trying to teach him, and he freaked out, hit gravel, pushed through a barbed wire fence, cut my hand up. Psh, I'm scarred up. I'm OG. Anyways, on The Arrival, it's very boring. Like, I would not ever tell somebody, go watch this.
No.
Because there's no action. It's an amazing film. And what I liked about it is that it tells you what's going to happen in one little scene.
I watched it once and I was like, that's pretty good. But I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Then I watched it again and realized what they did with the time. I was like, oh, okay. That's interesting.
Don't spoil it for people.
Don't do it.
It's over 10 years old.
It's
You
not
can
10 years,
spoil.
it's 2016.
Okay, we're 8 years in.
I have a strict
I have a
10-year
2-year limit.
I have a 10-year
I
limit.
have a 2-year limit. If you ain't watching in 2 years, you ain't that interested, don't worry about it.
No, because
it's your own fault if it's spoiled.
What if you weren't alive?
What have you been doing for 2 years?
What if you were not an adult back then? What if it's PG-13 and you were not 13? What if right now, theoretically, Evan hasn't watched it? He was too young for it.
The British don't have ratings. They're just
They
ones up
do
for
too.
everything.
Evan, you
That
need to
sounds
watch.
racist.
You need to watch. Evan,
I'm sure he's already seen it.
watch The Arrival. I'm sure because Dan, I get the idea that Dan's he
No,
reads.
he doesn't like sad stuff in this movie.
It's not sad. It's not sad. You're spoiling it. Stop. You don't even know. I can't believe you say yourself.
Kinda
You
is.
don't know. It's not spoiled.
It's 8 years old.
No, Evan
I'll
hasn't
say
seen it.
what I want.
Evan hasn't seen it.
He sees dead people.
Anyways, my point being is that it was a show that I really liked the whole presentation of it. It kept me hooked, even though I knew as I'm watching it, I'm not going to recommend anybody to watch this because there's no action in it. It's not typically something somebody's going to like. It was just good filmmaking. And I can do that. I watch a show and go, this is something that I like. This is mine. I would never make somebody sit through it. And it's just, yeah. I appreciate films that do that type of thing. It's a cerebral, here's just one little thing. Here's a cliche. We're going to put a twist on it. Here's this thing. Watch it. I'm going to keep your attention with some neat music. And there you go. Some cinematography.
The Arrival, approved by Jerry.
I really liked it. I really did. You should watch it, Evan. He probably has. Dan's a cerebral person. Evan's a cerebral person. You don't think Dan reads
Yeah,
books?
he's a smart guy.
You went,
He's a smart guy.
no, you went,
He doesn't like
He heard
sad
your-
movies.
It's not sad.
He doesn't like
It's
sad.
not a sad show.
It's dark.
It's not dark.
Even in theme.
Speaking of
Not
dark,
theme.
we're going to talk about Cargo Noir.
Yeah, that's got a dark theme. The noir. The noir. I mean, look at it. It's like
I know, but
the
do you
pulpy,
know that? Do you know? Okay.
the pulpy vibe.
Okay. You didn't. All right. I thought there for a moment.
It's not like cartoony, even though it is cartoony.
I thought you knew that, but I don't think you knew that. But you knew that enough to say it. You know what noir means?
I did at one point. I don't now. New?
No, it's French for
Noir.
black film,
Black. Oh, okay.
dark film.
There we
It's
go.
the noir.
Sounds bright.
Anyways, Cargo Noir,
Cargo Noir.
made by Sergey?
Serge Leggett.
Serge Leggett, R.I.P. He passed away last year,
Oh.
if I'm not mistaken. He's the same guy who did a bunch of other games. I think he did Shadows over Camelot and
Shadows over Camelot.
you don't have to do the voice, please. He may not be French.
Serge.
No, he was. I'm
Serge.
sure just French. He was
That's
French.
definitely a
He was
French
definitely French.
foundation.
But anyway, A Days of Wonder game. Cargo Noir is an old game about trafficking in troubled waters, which I have always wanted to play because it was like a pseudo-type bidding game where you're putting out money on these little areas to try to obtain the various cargo and then be able to sell that cargo immediately, traffic it, so to speak, illegally, and then buy various cars that have victory points on it. And it has a very neat little bidding mechanism, which confused me at first. It confused me. Did it confuse you?
We were all confused
Everybody was
because
confused.
we were playing it wrong.
Okay, so in this game, you have your little ships, and you send your ships out to the various ports around the board. And those ports have the various items on there, various little tokens that are the various contraband that you're trying to put in your warehouse and then sell. And so when you put your little ship on that area, kind of like a worker, you put the little plastic little coins underneath it. That's kind of like your bid. And then you go about your business. Everybody else ends up putting out their ships too. And if somebody puts more money out there than you, well, then when it comes time for your turn, you're supposed to activate all your ships and do the various actions that are on those ports. And if somebody's outbid you, you have the option to basically abandon that port, take your money and your ship back. Sometimes you get a bonus for doing that if you have certain cards, or increase the money onto that ship so that you basically try to drive everybody
Fold
off.
or raise.
So it's one of those neat little, it is a bidding thing. And you know how I love bidding games. And I've bought this game at the BGG flea market, hadn't messed with it. It's Days of Wonder. It's always one that everybody has always brought up to me. And I kept thinking, one of these days I'll play it. And I kind of thought it was going to bomb because it's Days of Wonder. Days of Wonder has always been hit and miss with you, even though I really like Days of Wonder games. I like
I just remember us being real excited to play Yamatai, and
I was not excited to play
it was
Yamatai.
not good.
You were excited to play Yamatai.
Yeah.
But I liked Heat.
And I've heard negative things about this game.
You have?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not very popular. There's nobody talking about Cargo Noir.
Well, because it's old.
Like our Ticket to Ride. It is, and it's out of print, right?
I'm sure.
I don't think they're making it anymore.
I'm sure it is. But yeah, that's why I had to.
But I did not. I thought it was a worker placement game. I had no idea it was a bidding style game.
2011.
It's old.
It's rated as 6.4. Oh, so this is old.
It's over a decade old. I don't know we should even be talking about it.
So this is old. Let's see. But no, it's a shrewd bidding game.
It came out right before Monte-Carlo.
Right. Days of Wonder. But fun fact, we don't own Monte-Carlo. We sold it because I fell asleep playing it. Because it was so
by your terms, you found it relaxing.
Boring. I was relaxed to sleep. And fell asleep. This is actually rated as a family game.
That's little. I mean, once you get down the bidding, I guess it's very simple. But
it won Australia's best international game winner.
Cargo Noir is the best game we've played. Lots of bidding.
Get them roos out of here.
We gotta ship these roos, get them right quick out of here. They've got Noir to go.
See, I see what you mean. A lot
Do you like this game? Noir.
No. They don't say noir.
No. They say noir. They don't say no. They say noir.
Cargo Noir.
The game in Australia is just Cargo No. They go Cargo Noir.
That's not funny.
It's terrible. They say their nose with an R, and it drives me crazy.
They do?
Yes.
Days of Wonder.
Days of Wonder. Days of Wonder. They like this game. Cargo Noir.
Anyway, I liked it. I'm glad I got it. I got it dirt cheap. And I was, like I said, I'm obsessed with bidding games, and this is a neat bidding game.
It was a good game.
You enjoyed it?
Two thumbs up from Enrique.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it.
I think I would have had a better start if
we understood the game. We were 3 rounds in.
We hadn't played it wrong the first 3 rounds.
Hey, wait a minute. But yeah.
Trafficking and... Okay, I'm not sure I like the term trafficking because I just think of human.
It's smuggling.
It's smuggling.
Smuggling would be better. Trafficking, like everyone thinks immediately of human trafficking.
No, they don't. Why do you think smuggling? Do you think people don't get smuggled?
I think drugs. I think...
so you think they should put smuggling in troubled waters?
Yeah.
What, TT?
As opposed to
troubled
trafficking.
in troubled waters? Trafficking? Yeah. That's not... No. That's not a... That's
and
a
why are the
term.
waters troubled?
Because there's bad things going on. The waters... They feel what you're doing.
The emotional waters.
I've been doing a lot of grounding here lately. And
I've grounded.
And you just know the waters and the ground, they feel your essence and they know.
You wear magnets as well? You're not a magnet guy?
The magnet?
Copper?
What are you talking about?
That's
the copper
it's all
thing?
about polarizing your body's stuff into the ground.
No, I was bipolar. I now just have the one polar.
There you go.
Because I've
you defeated the other pole.
The pole. Yes.
Which one? North or south?
I've grounded myself.
You took Santa right out. I'm no longer bipolar.
Is he in the,
I'm unipolar.
Is he in the north
He's
or
in the
south?
north.
Okay. Who's in the south?
Obviously.
No one.
The Yeti.
Well,
they're down there ruling the world.
That's the southern Santa Claus. The Australian Santa Claus has your present.
We've got our Yetis down here.
He rides around on a
crocodile,
kangaroo
in the
a bunch
pouch.
of roos.
with a
See a
red
big
nose.
Yeti just poking his head out of the pouch.
No, instead of a red nose kangaroo, he just has.
When you
red
said
boxing
Yeti, I
gloves.
thought of the cup. When you said, I was like, there's an Australian Santa Claus riding a kangaroo giving
The
out Yetis.
abominable snowman, which I think is actually a Himalayan thing.
This will keep your eyes.
Much like sea salts.
Yeah, he is. The Yeti's in.
I think he's Himalayan.
He's Himalayan.
Himalayan around doing nothing. Am I right?
Sensuous.
No, he's not doing a thing.
I am so sorry that I said anything about anything regarding
The Australians.
Australia, because that goes hard quickly. Michael
Sorry.
Vanoy
My
is very
bad.
annoyed by the Congo.
No, not Michael Vanoy, Langford.
Langford.
We have several Australian
We
listeners.
have a lot of listeners. Great Down Under.
Oh,
That's going to be it for me, but I enjoyed Cargo Noir.
I enjoyed it.
You will enjoy it more the next time we play it with
I
4.
probably will.
We're going to play it with 4.
I would like to play
It, it seemed really hard to ramp up your points and actually getting what you need.
Well, it's because you played it wrong.
Well, we did for 3,
Well,
or at
even
least
if
3
we
rounds.
Played
but
it right. It would still been very hard to ramp.
it's
up.
not easy.
You're
It's not
bidding.
easy.
We're overbidding.
Well, I feel like you have to like the reason. Well, never mind. But yeah,
We overbid.
perhaps.
It boils down to we overbid.
Perhaps. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We love you all.
I
If you
wouldn't
feel
go
like
that far.
if you feel like joining to our Patreon, keeping that going, we appreciate the amounts that are in there.
Thanks, Barry.
They keep the
Is Barry still?
they keep the lights on,
is
as
Barry,
people say.
Barry still a Patreoner?
He's a Patreoner. And we appreciate
forget.
all of
I
our
was talking bad
Patreons.
about
We
Barry.
could talk about all the names of
Yeah, you
our
was talking bad.
And
Patreoners
Andrew Wood on the Discord. Thank you for helping me produce.
on Discord.
On Discord.
He also messaged me as well. He's a very nice fellow. I
It's
appreciate
sad.
that works.
It's not sad,
We
but
need
as soon as I
sad.
heard his voice and was talking to him, I knew you're a programmer. You're a technical guy.
Wow.
Why would
What does
you
that
say
mean?
that?
Because he was the way the syntax, the way that the cadence of his voice
Okay.
was very like then this thing, then this thing, then this thing. And if you listen to that, you can kind of tell somebody who thinks in that type of fashion. They speak that kind of like Bubba. Bubba has that way of this, because Bubba loves systems. He loves programming. He loves putting things in order and going this. So if this, it must mean this. If it's not this, then don't do this. Da, 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 da. And you hear that and you go, this guy, I know what you're thinking.
The mind of a programmer.
A mind of a programmer.
What kind of mind talks like Enrique?
We don't want to go down that road.
I've been just doing things, man.
Somebody who's lived off chicken nuggets the
Yeah.
most of their life.
Yeah.
In the mind of Mencia. They made a show. Remember that? That guy got fired because he stole jokes.
ripped off everybody. Apparently.
That's what we should do. We should just steal jokes if that's all it takes.
It really does. It's actually quite easy.
Whose jokes would we steal?
Do you know a joke off the top of your head? Period.
No, I don't.
I
I'm
have-
not funny. like
I
that.
know what. There's only the one joke in my brain that I could just repeat over. Besides a horse walks into a bar with a long face. That's classic. But that's off of Hot
I
Shots.
just be myself, and people find that funny.
No, but I'm talking about like people tell jokes.
Do you have a joke you could tell? You have none.
Like if I
Yeah.
said, tell me a joke.
Like-
Enrique.
I've never heard you tell a joke.
Yeah, you've never
Send
heard me-
Enrique jokes at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
I can't-
I would like that. Send us.
For Enrique, not
and
us.
Let's keep them clean.
We're professional level comedians almost.
We have to
We
keep this
can do
a
it.
family friendly show.
But Enrique needs jokes. Send us your jokes.
Send us your best
Don't
joke.
send me jokes. I can't even like.
And we're going to have you read them on the next podcast.
I couldn't deliver those jokes.
Maybe not the
You
next.
could. Maybe not
I
the
couldn't.
next. But at some point when Enrique appears again,
We will have him read jokes.
We'll
I'll
have him
write
read
jokes for
jokes.
Enrique. We all write jokes, and then we can figure out.
you can AI jokes these days.
No, you can't AI jokes because AI don't know
I
jokes
mean, they're
are funny.
not funny, but you could AI.
No. You don't need AI.
No. We could definitely.
I will
do
be checking to
AI
make sure
jokes.
these jokes aren't AI.
My favorite joke, I'm not going to tell it, but it involves the brown pants. And everybody knows what that means.
Well,
that
it's
know
just
the
brown
joke.
paint.
It's an old
I don't know
joke.
what's so funny.
Exactly.
So Grasshopper walked into a bar.
Okay.
Grasshopper looked at the bartender. The bartender says, "Hey, we got a drink name after you." And Grasshopper says, "You got a drink named Steve?" Get it? Because there's beverages named the grass.
They are almost professional level comedians.
See, what happens here is that joke's funny, but it's not ha funny.
Okay.
Instead,
It's like a non sequitur funny.
correct. So those are the jokes that people typically will like go for, and they're not that funny.
Okay.
You want something with a little more.
Yeah, I couldn't do that to save my life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
It's
also
just-
your delivery. But we'll work on your delivery.
The quick one for me would be pirate walks into a bar and he's got a steering wheel down his pants. And the bartender says, where you have a steering wheel down your pants? He goes, aye, and it's driving me.
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.